When you crack an egg for breakfast, do you ever wonder what goes into producing it? I recently visited a successful layers farm where hundreds of hens lay daily and the production runs like clockwork.
Any day there is a drop in egg production, I already know the reason.
From feeding routines to egg collection, disease control and profitability, the farmer shared everything. So when you started your journey, what was your major fear?
My major fear.
How long have you been into the management of layers?
Of layers. It's been on and off, but we started in 2014. Then I did that for about a year. Then I got certification. I stopped. Then during the coronavirus lockdown, that should be in 2020. So there was a farm, I got myself engaged in. So I gained more experience in layers farming. Yes. So let me say, altogether should be about 2 years.
Okay. So as someone that has been into this layers farming for about 2 years, how has the journey been for you?
It's been a smooth one. It's been a smooth one, yes. But there have been some challenges anyways, but we were able to surmount most of the challenges that actually came our way.
Some of the challenges like?
Especially when they were still young, like from 2 weeks old. Yeah, that is the most challenging period of their life. So from 2 weeks to 4 weeks old, that is the most challenging.
Did you get them at day old or at 2 weeks old?
No, as day old.
So why is it being like, why is 2 weeks old and above being more challenging than day old? Because we know that or a lot of us believe that day olds are very fragile and any little thing can kill them. Do you get? Yes. So why is 2 weeks and above more challenging than day old?
Okay, 2 weeks and above is more challenging than day old. It's because of there's one particular disease. We call it Gumboro disease. So that Gumboro actually strike, from that 2 weeks of age, and between 2 weeks to 3 weeks of age, Gumboro can actually strike. If you don't vaccinate your birds well, or if you vaccinated and there is a vaccine failure, so Gumboro can actually strike. What with these layers, although when they are still small, we call them pullets. What with pullets, when they have not started laying, we call them pullets. What with pullets is that when they are small, they are very active. They will be running around. You think that everything is fine, but they are very weak. Their immune system is very low. Once disease just comes, they don't withstand it. Cleanse them.
Okay. Yes. You spoke about vaccine failure. What could be the cause of vaccine failure?
Many things can actually lead to vaccine failure. When the drinkers are not much, when the vaccine that you are buying, if it is the one that has to be preserved, you have to maintain the cold chain. That is, it has to be preserved in refrigerator, and you just leave that vaccine at room temperature. There will be a vaccine failure. And also, when you vaccinate birds that are sick, they can also be there will be a vaccine failure. Yes, a lot of things can actually lead to vaccine failure. Yes.
When you started your journey, that's in this aspect of poultry farming, what was your major fear?
My major fear is death anyway. It's death. That is the fear for everybody. Is death. Especially that period I've not actually been, the thoughts, the rudiments, or the ways to actually manage their health. So I wasn't taught then. So that was my major challenge then. Well, right about now, I don't think it's a challenge because you know how to tackle it when it comes.
So currently, how many birds do you have here?
We have layers. The ones that are laying already. We have 42 of them. But this one we did not buy. We bought this one as point of lay. Okay. That is for 14 weeks. That is when we bought this one. Then we also have 250 something. I'm not sure of the number, but it's about 250 something over there. That one is a pullet. They are 9 weeks of age now.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So why did you get these ones at as point of lay?
Okay, we got this as point of lay because the demand for eggs were just high then. Okay. So my boss had to, get points of lay so that if people ask for eggs, especially people who are living around this vicinity, you can actually, give them. Currently, these ones are giving us 1 crate every day. Yes.
1 crate. Okay, meaning that these ones are still growing up, or the aspect of that's layers now in this farm is still growing.
Yes,
Or is
it's
it
growing. It's
Okay.
growing. Yes.
Okay. So, what is the major challenge you have faced in this farm?
In this one, in the poultry unit.
Yes, in the poultry unit. That's talking about the layers now, the special layer special.
Okay, the major challenge I've actually faced, which I think that I cannot cope, there's nothing I can do about it, is the inflow of strangers into the farm. So it is something that you cannot actually, deal with. People will always, find their way into the farm. So there are people who want to buy your birds, especially the broilers, or people want to buy eggs. They always come in. So that's been my major challenge, because I see them as potential threats, potential threat to the health of my animals. Yes, that's been my challenge.
So, what is the feeding schedule like for the layers?
The feeding
The layers now, yes, not the pullets.
Okay, the layers. Okay, in the morning, around 7 o'clock, I make sure that I give them food in the morning. Then the next time I give them food is around 4 o'clock in the evening, just twice a day. But I make sure that it's by 7 and by 4, and I give them enough food. At least the food I give them by 7 o'clock, I'll make sure that if you come there by 9 o'clock, you still see some food in the feeders. Yes.
How about this other one, the pullets?
The pullets is still twice a day, but I feed them more because I have a target. I feed them more. Yes.
Talking about vaccination, what is the vaccination like?
The vaccination, there are different stages of vaccination. You vaccinate against Gumboro when they are 2 weeks of age. I know that's what they taught us in school, but in practice I have to change a lot of things. Things that actually work. What actually works, not the one they. Okay, in school they told us that at 2 weeks of age you vaccinate them against Gumboro. You also vaccinate against Newcastle when they are 3 weeks of age. The first one they vaccinate is at the hatchery. Day 1 they give IO, intraocular. That one they call that vaccine Ishna B1. They give it IO. So when they are 21 days of age, that is 3 weeks of age, you give under Newcastle disease vaccine. They call it Lasota. Then you also give when they are. The other one you give is the one they call Kumaro. So that one you give them when they are 42 weeks of age.
Kumaro, what does that one do?
That one is the same. That one is a vaccine against Newcastle. There are different vaccines against Newcastle. The first one is Ishna B1. You give at day 1. Then the second one is Lasota. Then the third one is that Kumaro. Yes. That is how it is for the Newcastle. But Gumboro, you just give them vaccine against Gumboro twice. Then there's another one that affect them the another vaccine you give against Palpus. Because Palpus affect them when they are 11 to 12 weeks of age. So when the pullets are already 8 or 9 weeks of age, you give vaccine against Palpus. That one, there's a way you give that one. That one is a different techniques altogether. And that is that. You give Newcastle vaccine, you give Gumboro, you give Palpus, and you also give there's this one they call triple vaccine. You give them one at age 15. I think age 15 weeks when they are 15 weeks of age. You give that one.
Now, how do you handle the health of that's hygiene of this poultry farm?
It depends on the pen where I put them, the house. You can see that this one is small, it's very spacious. When I got this one at 14 weeks of age, I did not clean up this place until 21 weeks of age. It's about 7 weeks. I did not clean it up for 7 weeks. Because it's not anything for me to do that.
But didn't it affect them?
It did not affect them. It did not affect them. Okay. So for that one, the clean up, this you cannot. Depending on the I think this thing is the house is not that spacious. It would have been a regular stuff like every week or every 2 weeks. But it's very, very spacious. That's why I had to leave it for that length of time. But for the pullet, we clean the pullet out because of how small that room is. We clean it every 3 days.
Generally, what is the mortality like? The mortality rate?
The mortality rate in our layers is 0%. But for this, for the pullets, for now, for the past, let me say for the past, there are 9 weeks of age now. Let me say for the past 6 weeks, the mortality rate should be about 5%. Because for the past 2 weeks, we've not had any deaths. Let me just say it's 5%. Let it not be as if I say 0 9, it's funny.
Yes, okay. What is one mistake people do when dealing with layers birds? When I talk about layers now, I'm generalizing. That's from day old till maturity to laying stage. What is one mistake people make in this aspect of agriculture?
Okay, mistake. We like call it a mistake or ignorance. But one thing about layers is that there's one thing they call photo periods. I think they ignore it. They don't take it into consideration, especially when they have reached that point of lay. That photo period simply means the amount of light that is entering the amount of light entering the house of where you place your layers. So yes, it has to be a minimum of 13 hours. Just maintain it. Just keep it at that level. A minimum of 13 hours.
Okay, so
daylight.
Okay,
if normally we have 8 hours daylight, or let me say 10 hours. You don't have like 10 hours daylight. So the remaining 3 hours you can actually look for light source and just give to them in the next 3 hours.
Okay, meaning that they actually need adequate light.
Yeah, they need the light. They need light. The reason for that light is because there is one gland they call the pineal gland. The pineal gland is located in the eyes of this poultry, of the bird. It's located in the eyes. So one thing with the pineal gland is that it gets stimulated by light. So once light enters the eye, it stimulates the pineal gland that also has a direct stimulation to the ovary. So it stimulates the ovary, making the ovary to stimulate or to produce more ovarian follicle. And it's this ovarian follicle that will get matured and produce eggs. Okay. So that light is very, very important. Most farmers, they ignore it. They don't even know it's maybe it's ignorance actually. Okay, let's keep it like that.
If you go on, sir.
Okay, now that they are giving me 1 crate every day. If I should ignore that photo period for like 2 days, you can be surprised that 1 crate is 30 eggs. They can just give me like 25 eggs. Yes, any day there is a drop in egg production, I already know the reason. 2 things can actually be the reason why there is a drop in egg production, and I will have to face it and correct it.
So, which is the you spoke about photo
period,
and then what's the second one again that could cause decline?
The second one, water, because egg is like let me say 80% water.
Okay.
Yes. So water, if you deprive them of water, that one there will be a drastic fall in egg production.
When you started, from the time you started dealing with these layers, this species of birds, right? Till this moment, what is that biggest mistake you've made that you know that this is one big mistake you've made, but you cannot do it again?
Okay, in layers. Okay, the mistake I made, which I cannot do it again, is in the pullet. There was a time I came and I noticed colibacillosis. From the feces, I can actually tell that these birds, they have actually come down with colibacillosis, which is a bacterial infection. An infection caused by Escherichia coli. So I noticed it, but I was like, the antibiotic I'm supposed to use, to treat this disease. It was on Saturday, anyways. It was on Saturday afternoon. I was so busy. I said, no, I will not go to the market to buy antibiotic because I did not have antibiotic in the farm. And on Sunday, they don't. This antibiotics say that they don't normally open on Sunday. So I ignored it. On that Saturday, Sunday, and on Monday, I noticed some mortalities. It was so painful because it is something I would have prevented. So ever since then, I made sure that all the drugs I need must be available in the farm. If it's the remaining one, if I'm using the last one, I'll make sure that day that I open the last one, I go to the market and buy like 3 or 4 of it. So I make sure that I don't lack any drug there. So that is the biggest mistake I've made here.
Okay. So, how can somebody know when things are not, or when his birds are sick? Talking of both the layers and the pullets. Some people will tell you from the way they act, some others tell you from their physics. So what are the ways one can?
Okay, I notice it from 2 things. Like, number one is their disposition, the way they act. That one is not the major one. No. If you want to know that this one there's a problem, you can easily notice that from their physics. It's the physics that will tell you that there's a problem. So that is the major way you can know that there's a problem in this. Then the second one is the disposition. Disposition.
That's
That is the way they act. Yes.
Okay.
So will also tell you that there's a problem.
So how is their physics supposed to be? Is there? Can you describe how the physics you turn or look, and then you would say these birds are not okay?
Okay. Number one is it's the color of the physics, the color and the consistency. You know, the consistency of the physics is supposed to be solid. But once it is watery, it's not necessarily a problem. Let me start from the consistency now. Once it is watery, it's just watery and it's just clear fluid with a mixture of black physics. You know, that is not serious a problem. It could be as a result of maybe increase in environmental temperature. Maybe in a very sunny day. In a very sunny day, you notice that your birds they pass out watery physics. Is normal. The reason is because the environment is very hot, so they drink more water. So as they're drinking more water, they are passing out watery physics that is clear. It is clear or no color. It's just clear and a mixture of black physics is normal. Yes. Then, but if you notice a whitish, direct physics, it is white in color and it is watery. Like whitish direct physics, that one is colibacillosis. It's an infection mostly caused by Escherichia coli. So you give antibiotics.
What is this
Escherichia coli is a bacterial infection, mostly goes from bad water, or it can be gotten through air. Aerosol infection. They can actually inhale it through their nose and they get infected. But it is mostly through the water. If the water supply is very poor, so they can get it from water supply. Then another sign is when you have a bloody diarrhea. That is the physics is bloody. Then that one is indicative of coccidiosis. Coccidiosis is an infection caused by Eimeria species. We have so many Eimeria species.
What is this Eimeria species now?
Okay, it's just an infection that affects the intestine of birds. It affects the intestine of birds. I'm just looking for the
right term.
It's not just the right term. Like the way we have fungi, we have bacteria. It's a protozoon. It's a protozoon. Protozoa, that is plural. It's a protozoon. Eimeria species is a protozoon. So, just the way we have, bacteria. Escherichia coli is a bacterium. Then we can say that Eimeria is a protozoon. So it affects, the GIT, especially the small intestine. So what it does is that it goes to the small intestine and it corrodes, the lining of the small intestine, so that the animal, starts. Because of this corrosion of the lining of the intestine, there is bleeding at the the wall of the intestine starts bleeding. So when the birds pass out physics, it becomes bloody. That is reddish. So for that one, you can just give anti-coccidia. So you can notice that one from the physics. Then another color that you can as well notice is greenish, color, greenish direct. That one is a pointer to Newcastle disease. It's a viral disease. That one is a virus.
So what is that one thing somebody needs to watch out for or needs to be very careful of when dealing with this layer species? Like I said, when I talk about layers, now I mean both the pullet and layers. So what are those things or what is that thing somebody needs to watch out for when dealing with these birds?
Those birds. Okay, when they are still, okay, let me say from 10 weeks below, I think you should, if you have actually given them the right vaccines, you have taken your vaccination protocol very well, rightly, then the next thing you have to look out for is you can look out for this colibacillosis, this whitish diarrhea. You can also look out for the coccidiosis, and you can also look out for cough. That one you can actually detect cough. When they are having these respiratory signs, like coughing or sneezing, or even though if you enter there, if you have this, if you yourself, you can, perceive choking smell from from the pen.
A lot of ammonia, right?
Yes,
So much ammonia.
that is ammonia builds up. So you can just If there's a condition of that, then you can clean up the litter. That is the pieces, clean it up and replace it. Then if there is cough or respiratory sign like rales or wheezing sound, you can actually give any drug that is good for cough. And that's Tylosine comes to mind. Tylosine is a drug that is very effective against cough or any respiratory sign.
So I want to know now, do you think this training these birds is actually profitable?
Yes, it's profitable. It's profitable when you don't have much mortality. It's very, very profitable. When you don't have much mortality and when you actually do the right thing, because I've had a case where somebody said that, from 17 weeks, you can, as well, if you go to your pullet house, you can see one egg from 17 weeks. Yeah. Then, but normally it's from, let me say, from 20 weeks. Any bird that did not give you egg from 20 weeks is very wrong. Something is wrong. I've had somebody telling me that he raised bird, this pullet, and his birds were, was it 22 or 23 weeks old at 25. They did not lay egg. And that is a great loss. You have to sell everything.
So what do you think now is because of that?
He did not take the right vaccines. He did not give them the right vaccines, and the necessary management tips he's supposed to follow. He did not follow it very well. Yes, he did not follow it very well. But at that point, I can say that I can prove that I think in terms of management, that photo period should be factored in. I think he did not take cognizance of that. And also, I don't think he's giving them enough water. But if you ask him, this command they can lie. He will say that he's giving them water. Are you giving the water regularly? Then that water, and that photo period, and again, there's also one vaccine they call triple vaccine. I don't think you also give them that triple vaccine at week 14 or week 15. I don't think he did all this, because if he had done all this, I don't think he's supposed to have that challenge that he had in this one.
Where do you think more of the profits comes from when dealing with these birds? Is it selling them or from the eggs?
Okay, like whether the profits come from the eggs or
majority of the profits comes from. Does majority of the profit come from the eggs? That's selling of the eggs, or maybe when they are done laying, selling of the birds?
It's from the eggs now. It's from the eggs. That is where the majority of profits comes from.
So, what's that one advice you have for somebody that wants to get into this aspect of agriculture?
Okay, the advice is very simple. You should just, if you are a novice in this aspect, you should actually have somebody who is your tutor, who tells you the right thing to do, so that you excel in this aspect of poultry farming. Just have somebody who knows it very well. Always correct you or tell you what to do, so that at the end of the day you maximize profits like others are doing.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, sir.